All right, everybody, episode 9 of the greatest music show on YouTube and anywhere else you can find it. The third shift. Cantley Elliott, Malik Allen, the two best hosts you'll find out of any show you watch. So, like we were talking about too yesterday, man. We had the link up. The link up was
finally.
It was what we thought it would be. Yeah,
finally. I felt like it was overdue as well. So it was definitely good to finally link up.
Like I said, this is the first time I think I've seen you when you're not trying to dunk on me. So it was a very pleasant link up.
Yeah.
So I was cool with that. But obviously Friday was a huge drop, lots of drops in music. You got me hip to a lot of them because I heard you play the Kodak yesterday.
I did. Like you said, it was just a lot of music that dropped. That was it.
But I will say though, Pi'erre Bourne, was it Life of Pi'erre 5?
Yep.
You got me hip to it because, like I said, I've listened to a couple of his things in the past.
Yep.
I just know him more for the beats, not being a crazy good rapper. But I played the Life of Pi'erre 5 on the way back home yesterday after we were kicking it. But what were your overall thoughts on the Life of Pi'erre 5?
It was out of all the drops that we've discussed and seen get promoted, you know what I mean, pushed to the front of all the streaming services. This is really the only album where I was like, oh, he put some work into this, because literally every beat on there, I would say, was either a 8 through 10. Literally every single beat on there was top tier. And
yeah,
like I said, on a day that there's 30, 40 different mainstream artists that decide, oh yeah, Friday seems like a good day to drop my music. You got to have something that resonates with people as soon as they hit play. And I felt like this was the album for me. I mean, I did listen to some other stuff, but what was you liking on the major drop day?
I told you so. As of right now, all I've listened to is I listened to Kodak's EP, which I like Kodak. I'm some kind of bias on that. Culture 3, I didn't really know what to expect going into it, because I wasn't really a big fan of Culture 2. But like we were talking yesterday, some of the features and stuff and the names you see on Culture 3, I think that's what's pulling me back to listen to it again, because I'm only really listening to the songs that have like those features we talked about, like your Drake, your Future, your Justin Bieber, your Juice WRLDs. Like those are the songs I'm listening to.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, those pulled me back in with Culture 3.
But what you're saying confirms to me my tweet that I tweeted yesterday, where I said we are literally watching a record label cash grab, because they are spending lots and lots of money on these features, the production, and they're saving money on marketing because of the people they have involved with this project. So they're just expecting us to just blindly listen to these songs because of the people that are involved. Credit to the artists that made it to that point in their career. No discredit to making it to that point in your career, but at the same time, it just feels like it's all on purpose, and I don't like that when it comes to art.
Yeah, because I'll be real with you. Once we had that discussion yesterday about it feeling like a cash grab, I kind of had that feeling before we talked about it, but then after I started listening to it again and I found myself listening to those same songs, I was like, he was right. Like 10 out of 10, I'm with him on that. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like I said, I think there's a couple tracks on there I like, but for the most part, like, because I didn't think Avalanche was a super good intro to the album.
I was just about to say Avalanche was like that had me in the house like, oh, this album might be something. Like I thought the intro was fire. We different on that one.
Okay. I'll be real with you. I felt like Avalanche was the intro, but I felt like they had Having Our Way with Drake as the second song. I was okay, like maybe they're trying to save themselves here. Like
they were.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
But But I kind of want to go back to the Pi'erre Bourne for a second, though, that we were discussing, because I need your take on this as a music artist yourself. So, are you bigger on? Because, like we said, Pi'erre obviously he's not a phenomenal rapper by any stretch of the imagination, but obviously the beats, are something that he's well known for. Are you more of a person who listens for the beats, or like are you more like a lyric? Like, are you focused on lyrics, or like is it like just different? things for different days? Like, what do you lean more towards?
I would say, especially like where I'm at now with music, it just has to sound good to me. If I listen to it and it's the lyrics that sound good, you know what I mean? If it is the singing that sounds good, if it is the production that sounds good, like I notice those things. And I feel like, especially where we are in music now, just to bring up, like I said, Gunna, the Lil Babies, the Drakes, they focus their songs on sounding good. They could be talking about Drake talking about getting in an argument at the Cheesecake Factory. Like if it goes perfect on the beat, it has the right pitch. Like we don't really care what he talking about because it just sounds good. And I feel like that's what Pi'erre Bourne focuses a lot on, because his lyrics, I ain't gonna lie, like I did go back, I played it twice. In the second playthrough, I was like, he ain't talking about nothing. Like he is literally talking about nothing at all. But hey, it sounds good.
And it was funny too, because we actually had that discussion yesterday when we linked up. But even like 21 Savage, for example, was somebody who now he's starting to become like an actual like good rapper. But everything really prior to, I'd say 2019, his beats were all just fire. But like he wasn't talking about anything in his music, and I was kind of always like, okay, like he has Metro Boomin like producing his beats, so like that's good. But now it's like I think he's really starting to find like, he's a good rapper. He's going to be a better rapper, and his beats are still fire. So that's why I'm like, 21 has honestly really leveled up for me.
No, he's leveled up big time. I'm glad you brought up he locked in with Metro Boomin. I feel like that was his first, like, if my beats is cool, they gonna listen to this stuff. And I feel like we talked about how he started linking up with J. Cole. And I feel like a link up like that, where J. Cole cares about everything in a song. J. Cole cares about what the chorus sounds like. He cares about what the hook sounds like. He cares about, you know what I mean? He cares about literally the smallest details in songs. And I feel like I hear that in a lot of 21 Savage's new verses, new songs, all of that. Like I could definitely see 21 Savage being a part of the rap game for a very long time.
And the thing about it is he linked up with him twice.
Yes.
It's not like it was just once, it was twice.
This was somebody that didn't do features as well. Like we have to give 21 a lot of credit for gaining that respect from somebody who was like, no features. I'm going platinum, no features.
At that point it was like, 21's on to something. But he's somebody who I've really seen grow too. But did you check out the new Polo G at all?
Yes and no. I didn't finish it, but I did tune in because I'm not a Polo G hater. You know what I mean? I when we talked about it yesterday, I said like I just feel like trap rap is becoming more commercial friendly now. It's okay. It's okay for these Chicago dudes to get some money behind them and market them, because a lot of people is, I don't know why a lot of people is connected with it, but a lot of people are accepting trap music now. So shout out to Polo G for, like, his songs ain't no, like, he puts a lot of thought into his songs. And I'll have to say, you can tell that by his interviews, all that stuff. Like, he definitely knows music. And that's why I was like, I got to give it a little playthrough, but I'm going to have to finish it. Did you get a chance to listen to it?
Checked it out. Yeah, that's why I was needing your feedback. So on my road trip today, I know what to play. So I'm gonna start coming to you for my road trip selections, man. Okay, so you gotta give me the heat.
you said you did listen to Kodak though, right?
Yeah, I gave Kodak.
That was only like 5 songs, wasn't it?
It was like 4 or 5 songs. Yeah. I'm kind of getting to the point with Kodak where, like I said, I like his old stuff, kind of like when he first came out.
Yeah.
Now, realistically, I mean, he's kind of, I don't know if I'm biased. I still like him a little bit, but he kind of drops like very often now, it seems like. And a lot of it sounds the same, starting to kind of sound the same.
Yes. And I'm glad you said that, because I was a very big, when Kodak was dropping them first couple mixtapes, I was like, oh, Kodak is hard. Where he's at now is, I feel like he's dropping so much. And when an artist is at the top, or, you know what I mean, towards the pinnacle of their career, and they start dropping a lot of music, they lose things to talk about. He's been, you know what I mean? He's been a rich rapper for 5+ years now. Like what more can you talk about? You know what I mean? So if you drop in music every, you know what I mean, every couple of months, it's like, okay, we heard it all at this point.
He kind of feels like how Gucci Mane was for a little bit. Like Gucci Mane was like constantly just dropping, and I was like, I don't know. But do you think it's different for Gucci Mane though, since he's kind of like one of the staple rappers for like Southern hip hop? I mean, is it different for Gucci Mane than Kodak, or
Gucci said something in an interview that always pushed me back for a second. He said the reason why I drop a lot of music is because my fans want to hear it, and saying that makes sense. Like if that's your main source of income, you know what I mean? If that's your career, I'm kind of with him on that. Like if your fans don't mind you dropping a lot of music, I mean, do what you got to do. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Because it was kind of like when we were talking yesterday about, you know, how Juice WRLD's fan base is, how Polo G's fan base is. Like when they rock with them, like they rock with them hard. So I imagine you probably do have to have like some Gucci Mane fans out there that are probably like, yo, whenever he drops, I'm listening to it. Like I'm not gonna rush to it. I'm not gonna rush to it, but like, you know, a lot of people probably out there will. So
And I feel like you have to have a fan base like that to make it to the point of a Polo G, to make it to a point of a Gucci. You gotta have thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are ride or die whatever song you drop in. And that's and like you said, him being a staple in Atlanta is dudes he can see himself in that are probably playing his music. You know what I mean? It was dudes he used to kick it with that are probably playing his music. Like it is definitely people falling in love with Gucci being Gucci instead of just it's just another song. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, and I feel that 110%. So Gucci's going. I wonder if Waka still listens to him.
Waka probably don't listen. Waka probably don't listen to nobody mainstream because he fell off the face of the earth.
He did. He fell off hard because it wasn't like he kind of phased out. Like, dude, literally just like
he disappeared.
I was like, what happened to him?
I don't know. It's same with. I just seen somebody where they were like, "Where's Fetty Wap been?" And I was like, I haven't even heard that name. Like when I seen the tweet, it completely confused me. I'm like, Fetty Wap? Oh my gosh.
I feel like he tweeted something the other day talking about there were a bunch of rappers he influenced, and I was like, bro, your stay in hip hop was so short that like I don't know if you really influenced anybody.
He probably influenced people in his city. You know what I mean? People he grew up around, but I don't know who else he influenced for real.
I don't know. So was the next discussion we were going to have, was it the Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, I was about to say, it's perfect timing because we talked about J. Cole where he was no features for a minute. But so the Mount Rushmore was, it was 4 heads on it, and it had Drake, it had Kendrick, it had Cole, and it had a question mark. And it said, who's your Mount Rushmore hip hop right now? And that was it. It was first. You said who?
You going first.
Oh gosh. So I went to the comments of this. I had to just to see what people were saying. And I was seeing Chief Keef. I was seeing I seen Gucci. I seen Soulja Boy. It was some solid points made about Soulja Boy. He's the first to do a lot of things, as we've seen on social media. Oh my God. And then I seen of course, like the Tupacs, the Biggies, things like that, which I was like, those really don't connect with me if we're talking about a Drake, Kendrick, you know what I mean, and a J. Cole. So I'm not gonna lie, I might have to say mine would honestly be between Chief Keef or Soulja Boy. For the fact that all of these dudes that are on this list have their own lane almost. Like Drake is that, like, you know what I mean, melodic commercial rap. Kendrick, that LA rap. J. Cole, that middle class rap. But I always see people say he got that middle class rap. But I feel like Chief Keef should be mentioned, or a Gucci. He could be in that conversation, but a Southern rapper or musician has to be in there that's still relevant today. And I think Chief Keef would probably be him or Gucci. Like I said, it would probably be between one of them two that's relevant right now. That if they dropped an album, it's gonna do 20,000, 30,000 easy. So
yeah,
what's your thoughts on that?
I had a lot of thoughts, and I feel like there's no wrong answer, but for me, I had to put Future in there.
And I did see some Future stuff about it. I'll tell you my thoughts about Future. Is
okay.
He never. I feel like his hits were very small. Like, yes, he was he's a successful artist. Yes, he has a successful brand. But what hits does he have except for the handful that we all know?
Ooh, Stick Talk was like
Stick Talk was up there.
Stick Talk, from Commas. I don't know. I feel like between, I'm gonna say, all the mixtapes he dropped, DS2 obviously. I think DS2
was great.
I
will give you that. DS2 was I feel like was one of my favorite Future albums, and I would put that above a lot of artist albums.
Oh yeah, and then Evil I feel like was good, but anything really after Evil, I'd say. So like that was 2015 or 16. Anything after that really, I mean, Mask Off, all those type of things. But I don't know. I feel like that little stretch he had though, like from 2013 to 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
I don't really know if like Chief Keef and like Soulja Boy and them had like that stretch, and I feel like Future really influenced like the sound of how a lot of these guys are now too. But like, it's tough. I don't know. Like Future, obviously now, like
you know what? I will add to Future, and I was gonna say Young Thug as well. I did see a lot of Young Thug votes because of what you said, influence. How many artists did Future influence? Like literally thousands. Like there was so many Futures in all over the world when he was dropping Monster, all those mixtapes and stuff. Like a lot of people wanted to be like a Future, and then when Young Thug came on, it was basically, like I said, it was a unique rap style that nobody else was doing, and a lot of people started catching on to it.
Yeah, this is just me not knowing. I'm just curious. Were people really doing mumble rap before Future? Like, was that really like a thing?
Ooh. I don't know if you've been seeing a lot, but a lot of people have been talking about what is the definition of mumble rap. Like, what are we talking about when we say mumble rap? And I do think of Future when I think of mumble rap. Like I low-key don't care what he's saying. It's just the fact that whatever he's saying is very on beat.
That's a fair way to think about it. Yes,
and I mean that's the Lil Babies, that's the Gunnas, that's the people where you don't have to catch every word they're saying, but it's going with the beat. You know what I mean? It's going with whatever's going on.
I will ask you this though, because I was looking at a couple of comments on the post about the Mount Rushmore. People were putting Kanye on there, and I try to think about all of Kanye's music from like 2010 2020, and I'm like, so you have like My Beautiful, the Dark Twisted Fantasy, then you have what, Yeezus, you have Watch the Throne, but outside of those, I mean 808, 808 Heartbreak was before 2010. Was it before 2010 or was it 2010?
808 Heartbreak had to be before 2010, I believe.
Like 09 probably, or like it was probably. So we can't put 808 and Heartbreak in there, because if 808 and Heartbreak was in like 2010, 808 I'd probably have to say Kanye.
808 came out 2008.
Okay, so close enough. But yeah, I feel like if 808 and Heartbreak was like 2-3 years later, I'd probably have to put Kanye in that discussion.
You know what? I honestly forgot all about Kanye in the Mount Rushmore conversation.
Yeah,
and he might have to be up there for me. He might have to be up there because if we want to talk about influence, you know what I mean? If we want to talk about brands, if we want to talk about Kanye as a artist in our generation, I mean, there's not a lot of people that don't know of him, haven't listened to one of his songs, that don't know about his shoes, you know what I mean? That don't know about the drama he be in. Like, Kanye is just up there.
You know about. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always there's what, like you said, whether it be music or anything else, there's always something about Kanye, like,
Yeah. Yep.
He had to be like third on my list. I think I had Future, Thugger, and then Kanye. Were like the three I was like really torn between.
I would agree with
like,
that.
I don't know. That's tough.
I think we're on the same page as that. I think a lot of other people would be as well too, especially somebody who's followed music 2010 to 2021. Like, I feel like a lot of people would probably be on the same page. Did you
even consider Lil Wayne? Like, I know a lot of people had Lil Wayne in there.
No.
And I was like, from 2010, no, you can't. I can't consider.
He's before. That's what I'm saying. He's before 2010s. Like, when I think of Lil Wayne, I think of early 2000s. Like, that was his peak.
I think like early 2000s to like 2009.
Yeah.
Like 2000, 2009, I think, like Lil Wayne. But like 2010 was like I'm Not a Human Being, and then everything after that was like no thanks.
I give Lil Wayne
the Carter 4.
I was just about to say I give Lil Wayne a lot of credit for what he did in early 2000s as the fact of being a lyrical rapper, because early 2000s was all the like I got big ribs, you got big ribs, like all that, just like, you know what I mean? Like it was very basic rap music flexing. Yeah. Like that was all early 2000s. How can we flex and make a catchy chorus? And Lil Wayne was like, no, like if you gonna put me on one of them songs, I'm gonna be rapping, like I'm gonna be flowing. Yeah. So that's all I give Lil Wayne a lot of credit for that.
I was listening to the first Carter the other day, and like Go DJ was on there, and I was like, bro, like these songs used to slap back in the day. I forgot about half of these, but I think Lil Wayne really stood out for like that early 2000s. But as far as like 2010s, I was like, I can't put Wayne in there. And people think it's crazy, but I'm like, you can't. From 2010 to now, you can't put Lil Wayne in that conversation, I don't think. Nah, I don't think so. So what else do we have?
I definitely wanted to talk about, to just throw it back to Polo G. I have to say, this was, I woke up to this. It was on all the little social outlets. So after his album release, I guess he got arrested. But there was a side of Twitter that I stumbled upon that was like, this looked too perfect. You know what I mean? This looked too fabricated. And I went, so I was like, interesting take. Let me go back and look at the video again. So how the video that started trending was his mom basically like they trying to arrest my son, like blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? She sounded like a typical mom. I ain't gonna lie. Like they doing my son dirty right now and won't tell us what's going on. And the next scene was the scene that was going on. And when I tell you, it was probably about 37 cop cars in the middle of the street. And it was like, why is all of that needed if they just arresting one person? You know what I mean? Like, it was weird. It was very weird. So then I go back and people were saying like, this is the perfect publicity after a trap rapper, like we was just saying, a trap rapper is becoming commercial. So basically saying he's still about that life. You know what I mean? He's still a hood dude. You know, he still has cop run-ins. Like, it's perfect to plug his new album. And I was like, if that's all true, man, we have we can't compete. Us small artists, I can't compete with a show like that, man.
Yeah, that's quite a way to get some clout for your album that just dropped, man. Because this, I gotta go look at this video now. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, no, you definitely should. And like I said, like it's all theory. You know what I mean? If it was a real cop run-in, like that sucks. Like I would hate to be in that situation. But if that is fabricated, if Polo G is on Instagram tomorrow, I'm gonna be questioning it a little more.
Yeah, like that'd be really odd. But hey, man, look, if that's the way to promote your stuff, I mean, hey, you do what you got to do, I guess.
So I did want to add to this conversation. So I came across, I have to look up his YouTube page because now I feel bad that I don't remember it, but because it was just a recommended video, and he basically made a whole video talking about where did album rollouts go. He was like, what happened to album rollouts. And he basically talked about all the rollouts that he loved. Like he talked about, there was one good roll. Like a lot, Kanye did. He was always very good at album rollouts. Tyler, the Creator, amazing album rollouts. Like he's creating characters, sceneries. Childish Gambino was another one. Like that whole, like they said he wore the same jacket he did for, you're going to go back and look at this, but 3005, that song. In that video, he wore this like brown jacket. He wore that the whole album rollout. And that was basically like his character for the album.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, that's some stuff that takes a lot of thought and a lot of care into the art. And he's like, where we are, 2021, album rollouts are done. It's all about buzz. And buzz is now being created with drama, being created with, you know what I mean, beef and negativity. That's like that's what people are drawn to, and I'm like, ugh. Like I'm ready for that era to be done. I'm over that now.
Yeah, because I never really paid a lot of attention to like the album rollouts, like as far as, but the Childish Gambino bit, I think that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, like you said, you look at it now. I mean, you get beefs leading up to albums and stuff like that. It's just like a lot of it, like you said, it's just negativity. But as far as like, you know, taking care of your craft and like you promote it that way in like positive ways. And when you hear the backstory to a lot of those, it's really interesting because I didn't know that about Childish Gambino.
I was about to say, you know who I will bring back up though is J. Cole's most recent album rollout. I mean, he went to go play for African League for 2 months. Like that's, hey, you got it, Cole. Like we'll probably never see him in another professional jersey, but looking back now, I know that was geared towards promoting his album more. And hey, that was good.
Genius.
That was great.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, I'll be curious to. I'm like you said the other day with Tyler, the Creator. I'm curious to see more of like what he does.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was about to say I forgot about that. Yeah, the little billboard. I posted that on the Blaze page where that was like the first glimpse of this whole persona he's about to start building, and I'm very interested in how this is about to look. Yeah.
Call the number.
Of course I called the number. Of course I did. I called as soon as I seen it before I posted it, just to, you know what I mean, legitimize it. And so I looked it up and it was basically like his mom and him. I guess he was in there a little bit and it was basically his mom just gassing him up, basically. Like,
yeah.
So I was like,
no, wow. You can hear his voice. You can hear his voice in there.
Okay. I was about to say it sounded like a voicemail. Like I loved it. Whoever set that up now, let's go.
If you listen to it again, I think he is like a little voice that said like you have no reason. It's like really, really quick. It's like a really deep voice in there. And you can, because I heard it the first time. I was like, this is definitely Tyler.
Ooh, that's gonna be. It's gonna be good because we all. I ain't gonna say we all, but the people that have been Tyler fans for a minute know that Tyler loves art. Tyler he has a passion for creating. And when you see these types of things, like you get excited for it because you don't know what's coming next. And to have that pull, I love it. I'm here for it, man.
I feel like too with him over like the last, I'd probably say 3 albums he's had, like even his like the work, like the covers of the albums has been like, I think more carefully thought out. Because I'll say from Cherry Bomb to Flower Boy to Igor, those covers are honestly like they're all really interesting, but anything prior to that, like Goblin and like Wolf, and so I was kind of like, okay, like there's not really much behind these, but I think his last several covers have been very interesting too.
I think his turning point as far as like being a creative was when they had that show, Loiter Squad.
Oh my God, I love Loiter Squad. It's on HBO Max. I watch it all the time.
Oh my God, I did not know that. Yeah. Oh, I'm tuning into that today.
It's on HBO Max.
But what came from that was the clothing line they started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like Tyler just kept falling into that, like, what more can I do with my creativity?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember, but something that came out of that was he started doing Sprite commercials. He started directing Sprite commercials. Like that's some crazy, it's not crazy, but like you can tell somebody has to get into the right doors to be able to completely direct a Sprite commercial.
Because I'll be real with you, when I first figured out who he was, I was probably an 8th grader, so like 2011 probably.
Yep.
And when I watched like the Yonkers video, I was like, okay, this dude's really weird. And if you would have told me that he's doing all the things he's doing now back then, I would have never believed you.
Nah, I agree.
Eating the cockroach back then, I would never believe any of that.
You know what turned me into a fan of Tyler is when he dropped. No, it was the album where he was talking about like sucking people's blood and all that stuff, like talking all crazy on it. He had that song with Frank Ocean on there. Her, I think. She. Yep.
Yeah, he had she and her. Yeah. You talking about Goblin?
Yeah, I think it was Goblin. And
Goblin, yeah.
And he was getting a lot of pushback from the Christian community. Like, how could y'all listen to this? You know what I mean? And Tyler literally said in an interview, like I know people, like I literally do this on purpose. Like, obviously all this stuff is fake. Yeah. Like, I'm not doing any of this stuff I'm talking about. I'd be in jail if I did. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there would be videos, there would be pictures, like, and that kind of clicked for me. Like, okay, this dude is thinking a lot deeper into the type of stuff he's creating. It sounds from the outside, it sounds like he's just trolling, but no.
Oh yeah,
like he's in the lab on this stuff.
If you listen to, did you ever listen to any of the songs on Bastard?
Oh yeah.
Bastard
I've listened to this whole catalog. Dude, yeah,
bro, Bastard. Like some of the songs were like French. Oh my god, yes. Like it was just like. The stuff he was saying on there, I was like, what is this dude talking about? Yep. And there was actually an interview where the guy asked him, he's like, so, you know, what do your lyrics mean? Like, what are they? He was like, nothing. He was like, shit to piss old white people off. And I was like, at that moment, I knew. I was like, he's not about nothing. I just knew.
And that's like you just said. That's how his real fans, the people who actually listen to him, realize he is literally he's not trolling, but like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like there's a science behind the madness, and that's why I was like, that's cool.
He's a lot smarter than people. I realize he's a lot smarter than people give him credit for. Because I'm like, this dude has it. He has it down.
I mean, based off of his album, he just won all these awards for. Like this album has crossed many different planes of music. Nobody knows what genre to put his last album in. Like it's just like. It's like, hey, this is Tyler Creator. This is it. That's all we got for it. And that's one of my favorite albums from him now.
Igor?
Yeah. I would say Igor is his best project. Flower Boy was literally an experiment to create Igor. That was my thought.
Igor is underrated. Yeah, I love Igor. When I was reading a lot of the background of the songs and stuff, and you see kind of the stories and stuff that are in the songs, I'm like, this is actually kind of crazy. Like once you do more than just like listen to it, I'm like, this is crazy.
And it's funny too, like that you say that too, because I mean it was about like his relationships and things like that. And like when you go back to listen to like artists that have been, you know, towards the top or you know what I mean, successful for a long time, you do see that a lot of their music does turn personal. And in that they still create good music off of that. And I don't know about you, but I always pay attention to that because like that's how I create a lot of my music. A lot of my music is me. Like I'm not trying to be like nobody else. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to put on no persona, and I'm just being me. And I feel like when a lot of these artists that stay successful, not the ones that become successful, the ones that stay successful, they're like, okay, I'm gonna start making music that is about me. Like only I could make these type of songs. And that's the thing that I think that's what Igor was. There's only going to be one Igor. There could be another Igor, but there's only going to be one person that's going to be able to create that.
Yeah, and he did it well because like I said, I still play Igor. So
me too.
He did something right if you're still playing it 2-3 years later into your next album rollout. So I mean, you know, so will we have anything else for this, or is this?
I think that's it, man.
The closing.
I think that's it.
All right. Well, it's good talking as always. Interesting topics. I can't wait till I need this Drake to go ahead and release, man, because I'm ready to talk about that. I'm ready to get to see how it compares with Cole's album.
Yeah, that is true. That's where Drake's messing up right now. Don't let a Kendrick drop before a Drake album because it's gonna be all bad. We're gonna be comparing stuff to a science, like song 2 to song 3. No, like you know what I mean. Like it's gonna be very in detail. So Drake better hurry up and drop, man. He falling behind.
Drake's too busy at LeBron's son's high school game arguing with the refs. I don't know if you saw that video or not.
I did. I seen that this morning. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're arguing at a high school basketball game.
You're doing everything but giving us the album. So man. Well, all right, everybody. This is the end of episode 9 for the third shift. 2 best co-hosts right here. So I mean, keep it tuned. We have more stuff coming up this week. Couple drops, merch. What else have you been working on?
We getting the website together, man. I'm very excited to get this going because I mean we're gonna combine a lot of music stuff, a lot of movie reviews, sports writing. Like I think this is gonna be really good for what we're trying to do on giving, you know what I mean? Like we were saying this, open opinions, man, real opinions from, you know what I mean? Stuff that's not swayed, stuff that's not, you know what I mean? Backed up by a lot of different things. It's just us being us and bringing our opinions to the table, man.
Yep. So we always keep it real and we're open to hear other people's too.
Yes,
so yes, sir. As always. Well, all right, everybody. This is the end of the episode 9 of the third shift, and we'll see you guys next time.
We out.